Hey there, this is Brian. Welcome to this week's Fathering Insights. Today, I'm going to introduce the last of my 4 children. They're a little bit younger, so we're going to keep the questions pretty simple. The questions are going to be, what do you like about your father? What do you not like about your father? And do you have any advice for fathers out there who want to become better fathers? Hey there, this is Finleigh-Grace. Finleigh-Grace, how old are you?
11.
Who's that in your lap?
Smokey.
Do you like Smokey?
Yeah.
Do you think Smokey likes you?
Well, he sleeps by me every night, so probably.
Okay. So, Finleigh-Grace, what do you like about your dad?
He let us play on the Xbox.
And you guys must really like the Xbox. Everyone says that he lets me play on his Xbox. What do you not like about your dad?
He still let us play too long.
Yes, and that's my fault?
Probably the little boys is.
The little boys' fault?
That they play too long.
Yeah. Does that make the house kind of chaotic because everyone gets over hyper? I can understand that. And then, if you had any advice for any dads out there on how to become a better father, what would that advice be?
Don't let them play on electronics too long.
Okay. All right. Do you have a favorite dad joke? Or cat joke?
There were 30 cows on a farm. 28 chickens.
Okay.
How many did it?
How many did it? Didn't? I don't know.
There were 30 cows on a farm. 28 chickens. How many didn't?
Don't know.
10.
10?
28 chickens.
Oh. The other 10 didn't? Good job, Finleigh-Grace.
Come on, Smokey.
This is Solomon. He's next. How old are you, Solomon?
11.
So who's older, you or Finleigh-Grace?
We're the same age.
That's not what Finleigh-Grace says. The look says it all, doesn't it? Okay. So we had 3 questions. The first one was, what do you like most about your dad?
He plays chess with me.
Right. Is that time spending together playing a game and teaching you something?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you not like about your dad?
Sometimes he starts yelling.
Yeah. So when I start yelling, those sometimes, is that usually out of anger or is that because I'm trying to get your attention? What do you think that's from?
Second.
I'm trying to get your attention? Yeah, it gets really loud in this house, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes in order to get your attention, I have to be loud. Okay. And then if you had any advice out there for other dads, what would that advice be?
Just to be a good father.
How do you be a good father? What do you think makes a good father?
By not, punishing them that bad.
By not punishing them that bad? So when I punish you, do you think I do it to be mean or do I try to teach you something from it?
Teach you.
Right. So would you say when you do punish them, you want to make sure you're teaching them something and not doing it because you're mad?
Yeah.
All right. Do you think you learn a lot sometimes because of that? No? Do you learn lessons when I usually try to sit down with you and discipline you? No? You never learn any lessons that way?
I do not recall any time I had that.
Is that because you're perfect? All right. So Solomon, anything else you'd like to say to him? Oh, hold on. You have dad jokes. Give me one dad joke before you go. So I made Solomon come back real quick. He's going to share a joke with us.
Why did the baseball think he was funny?
Why?
He cracked up a window.
He cracked up a window. Good job, Solomon. Thank you. This is Hyrum. Hyrum is
8 years old.
all right. All right, Hyrum. So we have 3 questions, right? You remember what they are?
What you like about your dad, what you don't like about your dad, and something you could tell to all the other dads out there.
Okay. So, what do you like about your dad?
He let he lets me play on the Xbox, but just for a certain amount of time, and then we have to go finish the rest of our chores.
Okay. And that allows you to have a little bit of fun, and
Yeah.
it also helps you remember your responsibilities.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you going to say?
One thing I don't like about him is that he just yells a lot and it really makes me anxious. And that's another thing for all the other dads out there. It would make it a lot more easier for the children.
So you're saying that I yell a lot,
Yeah.
and is that a lot of times try to get your attention?
Yes.
All right. Do I yell at you because I'm mad?
Mostly.
You think so?
Mostly.
Or do I yell at you because I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying?
Near the middle, but more mad.
All right. And that's what you think all the other dads should know about there is that you should not yell so much?
Yeah. I mean, they could yell when they really need to.
Yell when they need to. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say to them? You got a favorite dad joke?
I have a joke.
Okay.
Why can't the motorcycle hold itself up?
Why?
Because it's too tired.
Why can't the motorcycle hold himself up? Because it's too tired. Good one. Thank you. So this is Ezra. Ezra, can you tell him your full name?
Ezra Okimana Falconer.
All right. And Ezra, what do you like about your dad?
I like when you take me out for food.
What kind of food do you like the best?
Chinese.
Chinese food?
Yeah.
Do you like the sushi? And do you like the when we go to the hibachi place where they do that little cooking in front of us?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you not like about Dad?
I don't like it when you don't answer my questions.
When I don't answer your questions? Okay. Is that like when you're asking questions and I don't quite understand you and you're like, don't get an answer? Yeah. Sometimes I have a hard time with hearing, so I gotta get better about that, don't I?
Ah.
And then if you're going to tell any dad out there how you become a better dad, how would you do that?
I don't know.
You don't know. If you had any dad out there with a brand new baby, what would you say would be the best thing for them to do?
Take care of the baby.
Take care of the baby?
And feed the baby.
Feed the baby?
I don't know what else.
Okay. What if they had somebody like Brantley? What do you think a good dad would do?
We should take care of it. I don't know.
You don't know. That's all right. Feed it and take care of it. Those are pretty good answers. I like those answers. All right. Thank you, Ezra.
Yeah.
That was the last of my 4 children, the youngest 4. They kind of show that there's areas to have improvement, especially when it comes to like the yelling and screaming. I mean, it's really hard not to kind of be loud sometimes in this house. And I think they are so sensitive to the yelling and screaming that they really focus on that as being a bad thing. And I don't blame them. I can improve on that. And my wife would probably tell you the same thing, right? That I can improve on how loud I can be.
Well, his voice carries. He doesn't know that his voice carries. But I will say his voice carries, and our oldest and his voice carries. And our 6th boy, or our 6th child, his voice carries. And so I think they're not intending to be loud, but they are. Now, it's not screaming as like disciplined screaming. It's more so like trying to get somebody's attention or tell them to stop. But I can see that.
Yeah, and some, like my younger two boys, they probably don't notice the difference between the two because they just hear yelling and they feel the anxiety, so they always think that that's out of anger. And I think that's a developmental stage to be important to. And it kind of speaks to how younger children, they don't really know the difference between being disciplined and just being kind of like somebody being mad at them.
Hmm.
So that's why, it's really why you shouldn't spank the younger children is because they really don't know the difference. They think that the person is just being mean or being mad versus understanding that they did something and there's a consequence for that something. It takes a little time to develop that. The other reason why I have my wife here with me is that we're hoping to start next week doing a little bit more serious topics, a little less introductions, and we were kind of discussing what kind of points that we wanted to bring up. And one thing we kind of thought about was my struggles with PTSD and all the changes that came along with admitting and accepting the fact that I did have PTSD and going off and getting treatment, then coming back, from an environment where there's very little stimulation, coming back home to an environment where there is a whole lot of stimulation. As you can see, all my children live here at that time, and they all bring their own type of issues or
Well, and they're homeschooled, so they don't really leave a whole lot unless they're going to extracurriculars, and which then we're taking them.
right.
So,
Yeah, there's not a lot of time away from them as far as like family. They're kind of always around. And that's not a bad thing. I want that.
mm-mm.
As I entered into retirement, that was my whole goal is to be able to spend more time with my family. But at the same time, it means that there's not that reprieve there. There's not that rest, that break. And even when I would go to work and stress at work would be high, it wouldn't be necessarily comfortable. But there at least was that break that made it a little bit better when I did get home. Brought a lot of stress home with me, but at the same time, I cherished the relationships so much more because of the time that I was gone.
Hmm.
And I think that break helped us in a lot of ways, or helped me in a lot of ways to like really be ready to be present when I was home. Now it's like that I'm always present, and sometimes I think I lose focus, lose some of that mindfulness of those situations and times
Hmm.
because they're always around. I'm working on that too, and that's the
He's a,
whole point of this podcast is to continuously grow and continuously grow with your family and to kind of remember that we all start off at one place, but it's not really where we start. It's kind of where we end in the journey. That legacy based living, right? It's not how you start your life or how you live your life in the beginning, is about what you leave behind afterwards. And I'm really working on building a relationship with my children and really working on building that legacy through my children.
hmm
So, next week, would you like to give them a little preview of the things you'd like to talk about?
I think it's just a new norm from before to after. Um, in the beginning, we had, the first, 17 years of our marriage, there was expectation, which changed as we grew. But after he was gone to treatment and when he returned, that expectation was definitely different as far as like what kind of stimulation was in the house, what could we help him with, which are things that he's going to have to work through himself because we really don't have control of those. I think that's most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always that new norm when anything big changes. And the biggest change that we had is that instead of running away from my symptoms, I was ready to face them and I needed help facing them. And that's where my family really became a big help. They really helped me face the ones I could face with them, and they really helped give me some distance so I can face the ones that I couldn't face with them. So we'll be talking about the new norm next week. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. And we'll be back next week.
I love you, Dad, Dad, Dad. I love my dad, Dad, Dad. I love you, Dad, Dad.